Welcome, everyone. This is Brenda Selden of the Traveler's Message and Healing Circle. I've been having problems, so if you can see me and hear me, please let me know on chat. So, tonight I would like to speak about entanglement. The travelers have sent me this concept, and I immediately understood it to be a concept from physics. And so I looked up the definition of it, and I would like to share that with you. Okay, so I'm sorry, 1 second. Let me see here. And this is from the website livescience.com. In quantum physics, entangled particles remain connected so that actions performed on one affect the other, even when separated by great distances. Entanglement, again, the concept is relating more to quantum physics, such as photons, the interaction, how they physically interact. But in this case, the travelers are really speaking about our connection to them and their connection to us. And so I'm going to take a moment because of Mercury retrograde and have a lot of tech problems. So I just need a second. Take a breath, release, and connect, and start to share the message. Welcome, fellow human travelers. For like you are travelers as well. At this point in your history, you have begun to travel off-world, slightly, baby steps, but most certainly you are travelers of the imagination. You are travelers of the mind. For all the places that you will be going to, you have already imagined and written about and drawn and conversed and dreamt of. And through your spiritual abilities and connections, you have already connected to those places and those beings that someday you will meet in this form or in a future form. And so this concept of entanglement, what we would like to share with you is that as travelers, we are unable to come physically to your domain, to your dimension. Even though we are in energy form, our energy is physical. It is not of the spiritual nature. We are spiritual like you are physical and spiritual, but our materiality in terms of energies vibrates so quickly at such a high frequency that it cannot enter your dimension. We cannot exist in our form in your world, and you cannot exist in your form in our world until our energetic frequencies match. What we must do in the meantime is send forth what we call consciousness containers, which holds replicas, holographic replicas, if you will, of our consciousness, through which we are able to experience your world. And so in this way, there is this entanglement where two different energies affect one another from a distance. And so even though we are not there, there is a form, a reflection of us that is meeting you and that is connecting with you. And so what further we would like to say about entanglement is that in your science, it is not understood yet why such things occur. And what we would like to say is that in the beginning, everything was one of the universal consciousness, and this universal consciousness had the desire to know of itself. And we have spoken of this before. And so it diverged and split itself into many different forms, and each form went separately to a part of itself, and that part of itself became its own universe. And each form, each diverging essence of itself, came to exist for the purpose of self-awareness, self-examination, self-understanding. And so, what underlies this entanglement between ourselves and you and yourselves, ourselves and other beings, yourself and other beings? Even if you do not know one another, all has come forth from this one universal consciousness. And so what appears to be space, what appears to be synchronicity, that two particles at a distance react to one another, engage with one another. In essence, they are able to do so because they were once connected and they once held, or they still do hold, the energies, the essence, the materiality of that single universal consciousness. And so that is the connector between them. And that is the connector between us. And even though ourselves and yourselves exist in very different dimensions, and these dimensions are not, they are not close to one another. They are not places. Actually, we prefer to call dimensions states of being, because all is consciousness. And even though your world is steeped in science, as we are, we understand our science and science to be the science of consciousness. For all is conscious. And for your science to move forward and to progress and to elevate itself, this must be acknowledged, that all is consciousness. And so this innate consciousness exists in a dormant manner in all things. And while we are in one state of consciousness and one state of being, which for the sake of understanding, for the sake of simplicity, we shall also call our dimensional world, and you are in another one, and they are vastly different from one another, so different that it is akin to your North Pole and South Pole in distance at opposite ends. We still felt you, we still heard you, we still were vibrated by you. When there is a state of being, of pure consciousness, connections are made through vibrations. Like ripples in the water, we were rippled by you. We were vibrated by you. And so we heard your call and we came. We feel that you are our kin. And when you called, this entanglement between us was brought to life. This entanglement was raised to a higher level, to a higher frequency, to a denser physicality. You materialized us into your world. Do not be surprised that you are materializing not just ourselves, the travelers, but many other beings that are hearing your call and are coming. And why do you call us? Well, for some, there is a consciousness of connecting to the vaster universe and all the beings within this vaster universe. For others, it is a cry for help for your planet, seeking the answer from not from within, but from without, because you feel that the human race cannot help itself anymore. But we know you can. But we also know that if aid is requested, we shall give it, and so shall many others. For others of you, there is a remembrance, a knowing of having existed, having lived in places and states of consciousness and states of being different than this one where you currently vibrate. And we shall be using that term more often, where you vibrate, that we have been vibrated for you, or you have been vibrated from us, because that is the essence of connection. That is the essence of coming together. When we vibrate together, we are in alignment, we are in connection, and we are becoming closer to becoming again. Rather than diverging, we are reconnecting and re-emerging. For this universal consciousness has come to know itself through all its separate parts, and now it would like to know itself as a being of consciousness in unity, as one. And so it is calling forth to all its separate parts, to all its separate beings, calling all these separate parts to come back together as one, except that where before this universal conscious was not so conscious of itself, the awareness was very small. Now its awareness is much, much greater. And with awareness comes wisdom. And the wisdom has also brought forth compassion, for when it diverged itself into different aspects of what you call the universe, it found itself choosing to experience itself in many different ways. And so some of those experiences brought great joy, and some of those experiences brought great suffering. And so it has also come to understand compassion, come to understand kindness and generosity, come to understand the nature, rather the sacred nature of life. And so it chooses to begin again. And so it's calling forth all its divergent parts to begin anew. And so at this time, we will leave you with this message for you to ponder upon, for you to vibrate upon. For knowledge is also a form of consciousness, a state of being, that when the knowledge is pure, when the knowledge is of the higher elements, then the vibration shall be stronger. The vibration shall be more alive, more powerful, more expansive. And every time your vibration expands, you are able to connect more and more to this universe, this state of being, and other states of being. And so at this time, if you are new, we welcome you. We ask for the part of the healing that you give us, the travelers, permission to work with you. And please take a moment to let us know where specific healing is needed in your life, whether it is for your body, for your mind, for your heart, for your spirit. And we shall send forth healing to you. And make yourself comfortable as we begin. And so the healing has begun. For this healing, we would like you all to place your awareness on a large, expansive, open space, so vast that the ends of it cannot be even fathomed. And though these ends cannot be seen, grasped, or understood, place your awareness on the image of an atom existing in each end of this vast universe. So there is an atom on one end of it and an atom on another end of it. And in between, there is this vastness, this vast emptiness for the sake of this healing and this exercise. And you are holding these atoms in your mind, and you are seeing that they both begin to vibrate at the same time, at the same frequency, with the same speed. And as you are holding them in your mind, we know that you are seeing them close to one another as they parallel each other in their actions. Next, we would like you to start to see them moving apart from one another, but still continuing to parallel in their actions and their vibration. And you see the empty space as it gets larger between them. And though you are seeing these atoms, as they start to move away more and more from each other, there is a point where you must allow them to leave your imagination, but maintain the knowing that they are still vibrating in parallel to one another. And what you are holding in your mind is the vast, vast space that is between them. And we would like you to set your awareness onto this vast space. For this is the area of true action where it is taking place. The vibrating atoms are the results. Directly, they are not in contact with one another. One is not vibrating the other. It is within this vast space that holds the original frequency of connection. And this frequency exists as not as an energy, but as we are trying to find words for your human brains to understand. This space is almost like a membrane, like a skin. And this skin is what holds the essence of the frequency. But this skin does not move, unlike the skin on your human body. It is informing the two atoms, it is reminding. And so, what do we understand from this? We understand the concept of awakening back to this original connection, to the membrane of the universe, to the skin of the universe, for we are part of the body. The body is vast. But while we use the words membrane and skin, we still would like you to hold in your mind this empty, vast space and allow yourselves to be conscious within it. Allow yourselves to be vibrated by it, to be awakened, to be reminded. And as you allow this awareness to awake within you, you shall begin to vibrate along with the other two atoms in concert with them. And as they are in opposite locations to each other and to you, you know they are there. You know you are vibrating with them, in concert with them. So allow this to come to you. And now release awareness to your imagination. Release any concept, any picture, any understanding of what I have just told you, and simply experience for the next 5 minutes. Simply be. Some of you may feel this vibration within your bodies, like a second pulsing of the heart. Some of you may feel a vibrational thrumming sensation running through your whole body or a part of your body. Some of you may feel an expansiveness sensation within your mind, but your brain, the sensation of your brain expanding, your head expanding. Some of you may feel a sense of floating upwards, or again of a lightness to the body, while at the same time the body feels as though it is expanding outwards. If you are feeling slightly lightheaded, Please know that you are safe. You can choose to disengage and feel grounded again, but we would ask that you stay with us because this is a new sensation to you and you must become accustomed to it. Once you are accustomed to this vibration, this vibrating, this new form of connection, communication, this entanglement, it will not feel so awkward. It will not feel so uncomfortable or intense. Because you are vibrating in concert with these atoms that we have placed in areas of the universe that are in other dimensions to you, in other states of being, as we like to call it. You should know that you are entangling with states of being that are very, very far from you, not only physically, but also on the spectrum of vibrational frequency. And what we do, what we are doing when we do this is that we are planting the seeds of these higher frequencies in you. So over time, your people may manifest and reach these higher states of being. This is what will allow you to transcend your physical bodies and eventually come into being, into energy forms. When this exercise is done, we suggest that you drink water and lie down or relax where you are and allow these energies, these vibrations to gently leave from you as we disengage you from these atoms. The sensations that you are feeling, those are not merely your reactions to this experience. They are your body's engaging them, your bodies and your spirits experiencing the reality of these frequencies. So at this time, we thank you for joining us tonight. And again, we ask that you allow yourself to come back to earth, to your bodies, to feeling grounded once more. Allow it to come in a natural way. And at this time, we have disengaged you, and you should feel an immediately lowering of the intensity of your experience. We thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again next Wednesday, the regular day and the regular time. Thank you. and have a good night.